Hey there! Did you miss me? This is Arcade Bottom Feeders, episode 49. It's been a while. Been on hiatus. Picked up a sweet Revolutionary X. Revolution X.
Revolutionary.
The future of rock and roll.
Great side art on it though, man. It looks amazing considering.
It's beautiful. Stick around for the price and the story. Coming up next. Welcome to Arcade Bottom Feeders, episode 19. If I wanted to do it right, I'd take the parts off, clean it all up. But it'll work for now until I get that serious about it.
Since when did we go through all that trouble?
All the time. We're back again. Here's the music. All the track sounds on. This makes Matt happy. He loves to hear all the noise in the arcade.
The audio must be perfect. Make sure you do talk loud enough though, so I'm not using a mic.
Oh, where is that sweet mic? That was fancy. I haven't seen that in a while. Oh, well, I haven't shot an episode in a year.
It has
more.
issues
Where
because
you been hiding, man?
we're at two different distances.
He's been trying to delete me out of the videos. He thinks he'll forget me. But I'm the talent. I'm not going nowhere. Where's the talent gonna go? You need the talent. I mean, all his views have been lagging because I'm not around. You know it's true, Matt.
I don't know why you don't start your own channel so that you can just go straight to internet fame. At least a TikTok.
Stuff going on, you know.
Can't handle 1 minute videos.
Well, you know, I will give you this. You do a lot of work when it comes to your videos. It's not like
Sometimes Steve doesn't even
video
put any sometimes effort into it.
Putting it up, it's like it's a lot more than that.
Right.
Of course, your mom does most of the work, I think. Actually.
Even thumbnails are getting time consuming.
Back to the lecture at hand. This is number 49. We're getting close to the big 50. I thought we were at the big 50 already, but I guess not, huh?
Nah, we were, hey, this is 46, and then we filmed it again, still working on it, and it was 47.
And there's been a multitude of pickups in between, so this isn't really in a chronological order, but this is almost one of my latest, actually. This is
easiest to film. It's already in the aisle.
It needs work. Is why we're hoping to fix it enough to get her playing again. Okay, here's the backstory a little bit on this guy. On a little ad place where you can find stuff.
You don't have to be weird.
I'm not trying to be weird.
You are. It's coming off pretty weird.
I spied. It was on there about a couple weeks, actually. Two revolutionary. They're not revolutionary. They're Revolution X.
I'm surprised they were actually on there. The price was high, but
yeah.
It's a pretty good looking machine.
Well, I mean, you can retail one for about $1,500, especially in today's market. So a gentleman had them for sale. It was a couple hours away. Had two of them. One working fully, which he wanted $900 for, and this one here, which had a graphical issue, as he explained, or a monitor issue, he wasn't sure.
We'll find out in a sec.
He wanted $500 for that, I think, he said. Well, anyway, they languished on Marketplace for a while, and a buddy of mine reached out after talking to me one day. He's like, hey, what do you think about these? I'm like, I'm down for one of them. And so he reached out to the guy, and the guy was like, he'd take $900 for both of them that day. We're like, okay. So he jumped in the truck and headed down that way, and he ended up picking
Pretty
up.
nice guy of you to, pay half and take the crappier game.
Yeah, well, I mean...
He did drive, I guess, and when got him for you.
I mean, yeah.
What can you do?
Did all the work of picking it up, and
I can see that.
Yeah, so, well, that's just the kind of guy I am, I like to
It's not the kind of guy he is at all.
He knows it's true, that's why he's lying. Anyway, so he gets down here, and this backstory where these games are at, they were selling several arcades, probably, I don't know, 10 to 12, maybe 15. And I've actually found
Whole
out
arcades or just arcade games?
it was arcade games.
Okay.
Whole arcades.
You're like, wow, they're selling a franchise? What was it called?
We don't need the grammar police here tonight. Alright, Matthew, you're just standing over there looking at your phone. You act like you're doing something. Like, oh, I'm a big photographer here. It's on a tripod. You're doing absolutely nothing.
This is my favorite. That's why I wanted to film some bottom feeder episodes. I just sit back here and ridicule and make fun of your attempts to make great videos. It's fun, ain't it?
Oh, it's glorious. You missed us, didn't you?
I
missed you.
You should rap for him again this episode, or maybe dance.
We don't want to drive people away from the channel. All right, well, let me get back to this story. I apologize if this is lingering a little too long. So, she was 16 years old, and she wanted to run her own arcade, and her dad financed it, and they bought
pretty
a bunch
sweet,
of arcades. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome pop.
Better than a pony.
Yeah. And it was right before COVID hit, so she didn't make any money, just like barely paid the bills. I think on Friday nights, they even had like a band playing it, and still they weren't making. I think it was $10 was the admission fee, and then everything was on free play.
It sounds like they should have had somebody go through the finances and maybe tweak the prices here and there.
Snacks and stuff, but being 16, I guess you couldn't serve beer, of course. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if you buy
you need some.
If you buy 25-cent
beverages.
bags of chips and you sell them for 30 cents, you have to sell a lot of chips to pay some
you're
bills.
You're not gonna make too much money. So, lo and behold, I guess they sat there in storage, and finally went up for sale.
But most were sold, and you guys got to kind of pick off.
Well, actually, we got there before. There might have been a few sold before we got there, but he arrived, and he picked this one up and the other one for basically $900, and then he paid $200 for an NFL Blitz that had monitor issues, which is a steal.
Very nice.
Yeah. So he paid $1,100 for 3 arcades.
I've sold him monitors that had monitor issues for $200.
Right. And I thought this one, they said it had a graphical issue. I got it here. I could tell the B+ was high on it because you could hear the whine, and the display on the monitor was
which also could be the frequency.
Super, bright and glowy, just wavy, too, and
the hula.
So the first thing I did was turn the B+ down. It helped a lot, but it still had some graphical issues. Basically,
you didn't fine tune it though, so. If we fine tune it, it may help a lot.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I admit I was lazy. It's a Polo Hanorex. I don't have much experience with it, so the B+ was caged in. I had to use a.
Nothing wrong with turning it down if you know it's way too high, though.
Right, I knew it was high because of the whine and what was on the picture. A little bit of experience.
Totally safe to go down. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing if you're going
down's better
up.
than too high. You get a high voltage shutdown if it's too high. So I fashioned a bottle rocket stick, and because it was in a cage, and stuck it through this little hole while I was trying not to get shocked, and turned it down to where I didn't hear the whine anymore. And the monitor chilled out, and it wasn't as wavy or nothing. It was actually somewhat normal, but it still needed to be capped. So. And the board, or on the picture, there was the graphics were garbled. Not garbled. It was missing.
And for the right info, you want to take your black lead on your meter and put it to chassis ground, and you want to take your red lead and put it on test point 6, and it should be 138 volts.
He looked it up. He didn't get that from memory, so.
I remembered it from an hour ago.
Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know. He's got a cell phone right there. He's probably reading right off it.
I'm playing games.
Yeah. That's all he does. See that? You understand? I have ADHD. Now I'm lost.
I work and I play this stupid game because it pays me Amazon bucks.
Still, like.
That's how I fill that parts bag. All right, well, let's go ahead, I guess, and move on to...
I'm still in the middle of the story.
Oh. Well, let's tell the story. We got to move to part 2.
Well, I was describing the issues. Are we going to wait? We can wait.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn it on, take a look, and you can tell us anything you've done.
Well, yeah, okay. We know what it's going to do now. It's not going to come on like it used to.
No. Well, then you can fill us in on that once we turn it on. We'll be right back.
Who knows? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and test the B plus in this guy. Because initially this was what was wrong with it. And it still could be high because I just kind of turned it down so I didn't hear the whine anymore.
So we have a picture of the board, but the light is so bright it's kind of blotting out where the test point is.
Is it? That sucks.
Yeah. You just want to just stick your finger kind of...
Now you can't see nothing.
Where that red lug is right there. The farthest.
There's a wire. It's just basically a zero resistor.
0 ohm resistor.
Remember that? Yeah, the old 0 ohm resistor. So it's
right there at the end of his flashlight.
At the edge, basically at the edge of the chassis.
Yeah, the very back side of the chassis.
Towards the, it's test point 6, and it's closest to the tube at the, basically the top of the chassis or bottom of the chassis. What's the top? Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and fire up the old multimeter and fire this up. First, we're going to plug it in.
Yeah, let me set this camera back up. I don't know where that is, actually. Ah, that's fun. Okay, so we're all set now. We got our leads where they're supposed to be. Do we have ground on ground? Okay, you want to make sure your leads are on before you plug in the game, before you turn on any power. I don't see any kind of power strips or anything over here.
That's why.
It doesn't matter because you can't do that in the wrong order. Okay, let me know what you're reading.
Oh, you got to hit the switch up top there.
We could have did that ahead of time.
All over the place.
Hold her down, hold her down. Maybe find a better ground that's not a good ground.
Well, it's high voltage shutdown would be.
Hold it on there because it's it auto reads. You got to hold it on there for a second. And that ain't doing nothing. PCB's freaking out too. Yeah, that don't look good. You sure you're on test point 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be right back and we'll figure out what this
You
means.
said
The red lead goes to the middle leg of
Right.
the hot, and then the black, of course, goes to chassis ground.
Okay.
And if it reads shorted, it's shorted. Pretty simple.
We said this guy too.
Diode. So you're going to flip it all the way to the right. And then now hit the orange button. Yep.
Good there.
What's it say? Oh, you don't have it. Well, you got to plug in the leads.
Oh yeah. Ain't got that far yet.
Alright.
Then we're just gonna ground her out after we flip her on.
No, you can do this without the power on. This
Alright.
one.
We got 0.998 volts.
Okay, now switch it to the beep, the audible beep continuity. See where the signal is.
Yeah.
Because I think that is actually, it's not completely shorted, but it's no beep.
No, if that's right.
I'm gonna say it should beep when you turn it on. No. So it may not be shorted. It's definitely ticking.
She is a ticking. I got on that middle guy for sure, so.
It's definitely on the middle leg, huh?
Mm.
This repair is not going as it should. All right, back to the flow chart.
Well, no, this guy ain't.
That's not a good ground.
Giving us a read.
Put it on a screw.
Well, we got dots.
That could have been our. Well, when it does the dots, that means it's about to give you the. It's calculating. Over limit.
Yeah.
I think that's because my batteries are dying. That might be why our B plus was reading goofy.
Oh, not that old trick. New battery.
But it doesn't seem like it's shorted. That's 0.03.
It's acting like it's shorted.
That is shorted. It's just not beeping. All right. Well, at least we brought an extra. Yep. Now to determine, we need to test some other parts to see if the flyback is good or not.
It is.
It's probably not if we've got this far. But the fuse wasn't blown, so if the fuse was blown, it definitely, I would say, is bad. So there's a chance that it's not. But what's killing the hot? And that's what we're going to find out next. There's 2 diodes and 3 caps or something we can test. So yeah. Let's pull a chassis and we'll test those out.
Woohoo!
It needs a cap. Oh, you did a cap kit already.
Yeah,
so
it's been capped.
We can skip that one.
Matt Hendricks.
Oh, there was a viewer who just loves watching the back of your head, he said. On all your repairs, he just loves the back of your head. So
it's a sexy head, so I mean,
I was just zooming in for
everyone loves a sexy head.
Be right back. All right, sorry about the TV. I'm just going over the solder work on the chassis, and I don't think this is Mike's fault or his work at all, but I think it was just previous. There were several, not cold solder joints, just joints that weren't making connection here for the flyback. And I found a couple other ones over here. But we did change the hot, which was bad, and everything else seems to be okay. I just tested everything else that I think would have been a culprit. So I'm gonna take this back downstairs and let's throw it in the game and see what we can get. Okay, so basically we just changed the hot on this one. The fuse wasn't blown and I just didn't see any evidence that we had ruined a flyback. So I think that it was just the hot that was bad, which was previously in there already. And I think that when he turned the B plus down because it was making the funny noise, I think it just went a little too low, and I don't think that it had enough oomph to pop this back up. I got some new batteries in the, well, fresher batteries anyway, in the meter, so let's go ahead and turn it on and see what kind of B plus we get. And then I'll put a little graphic here where the test point is, which you can follow that little red lead right up there, but I'll put that picture in so you can see. And then now that you've seen, let's test the B plus. Okay, we have 133. So we do have what appears to be collapse. That is a whole nother problem altogether. I did find several bad solder joints running in the flyback area where it's soldered in. But let me go ahead and get this up to 138, and then we can test our voltages in the power supply. And maybe I should pull this. Should I pull this chassis again? I think we'll go ahead and wait on the chassis. We'll wait until Mike wakes up before we venture on anymore. I don't want to dig too far and end up doing any damage or really any good. He can he can do it himself. No, I'm just kidding. we'll go ahead and pick this up. Probably.
Remember, music is a weapon.
Well, the sound works. But I think that's where we're going to end this one here, since Mike has to get up and go to work early in the morning. So yeah, we did up our B+. It's only at 133 right now. Let's see if I can get it to focus in. There we go. It's only at 133 now, and I don't assume that putting it up to 138 is going to fix our collapse problem. What I think this is I think this is more cold solder joints or cracked solder joints, and I think if we pull a chassis out and dig around for another hour or so, we probably find them all. But stay tuned, because we will definitely get back to this one. It's first on the list for him, and there's plenty more. I don't think there's any other new ones in here, but there's plenty other new ones we're going to get to. Thanks for watching, gang. See you in the next one. So these two right here are going to be ground and 5 volt. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is, a nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted, I got what I wanted, and a pretty good deal on it too.
Super hang on. Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
What? Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.